segment, Week 7 Standout Performers. And actually, that's one of mine. Duke Watson from Mary Parsons, as you mentioned, 315 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns, big time performance against a really good team. He showed pretty much his whole repertoire in that game, and he continues to have a good career for that team and big time victory, and it's going to definitely help them going forward. So that's my standout. I'll throw it to you, Craig, for yours.
Yeah, that was a cross classification one, but still, I mean, Prince Avenue, they're an outstanding team. You got to have a good game plan. Certainly, he deserved the game ball, 5 touchdowns. But Douglas County's Mike Hasty, there's a lot of playmakers on that team. They're doing a great job at, I mean, just collectively balling out every week. But I mean, this is an interesting stat line. You don't see many guys that play defensive end and running back. And so he had 101 yards on the ground and a touchdown on just 7 carries and then 8 tackles in a 50-0 shutout victory. That is, it's a solid game on both sides of the ball right there.
No, 100%. And then my next standout got to be from Briarwood Academy. Athlete Hollis Evans rushed for 209 yards, a touchdown, had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and 12 tackles. Talk about getting it done on both sides of the ball. Phenomenal performance from Hollis Evans. He has one of my standout performances from Week 7.
Yep. All right. Well, next one, go Devin Henderson with Cass. We'll get to see him next week. He doesn't come off the field. He is just all effort, every single play, just an unbelievable talent. He means so much to that program. But in Cass's region opener, 42-12 win over Woodland Cartersville, had 160 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns on 16 carries. He caught a touchdown pass as well. And he was also in on defense. So just another solid performance. And we know that the entire game plan next week is going to be geared on stopping him.
100%. And then my next standout performer is Chapel Hill running back / linebacker Michael Paget. He had 200 all-purpose yards, 2 touchdowns. Big time performance for Chapel Hill's 18-16 victory this past week. He gets my standout performer from Week 7.
Yep. Quick shout out. Yeah, Flowery Branch had a big win over Clark Central. I wanted to point that out. That was a big result for them. They had been struggling in recent years. Josh Oliver, 4 touchdown passes. But I got to go with Osamane Chroma, standout performance. One of the best individual efforts I've seen. He did it with a calf injury. And then, as I said, when he came over to the set after the game, that is a big running back. He is physically fit. When he's healthy and just later on into his career, he's only a junior. I think he's going to have just a great college career. He's going to be a big time name. I loved your article yesterday where he was talking about like what motivated him, his Muslim faith, all that. He is just, yeah, he's a special talent.
100%. That's a guy that's just next level doing that. 300 plus yards rushing guys on a strained calf. Said he could barely walk going into that game. His head coach said so too. So that's kind of crazy to have that performance. You could barely walk. He definitely gets our standout performer of the week.
How
That is
many
incredible.
yards would he have had if he was like, because there were some plays where he still broke off a 60-yard run, but I mean, he would have either dragged the guy into the end zone or just made him miss. I mean,
Yeah.
He was unbelievable.
100%. And then my next standout performer, East Paulding. Yep, I see you, the recruits just mentioned you. Wide receiver Cameron Shelley, 4 catches, 165 yards, and 2 tutties. Great time performance from Cameron Shelley. They're doing their thing, East Paulding. They got some weapons. I think they're going to be a potential team to watch for out there in 6A. They're looking to make the playoffs under Chris Hirschfield, who's doing a good job with that team. A magnificent performance from Cameron Shelley. He gets my standout performer.
Yep, I got one more. Cam Lloyd, Walton Raiders, big time receiver. He stepped up huge in that win over North Paulding. Wyatt Sonderman went down. Hunter Teal was doing his thing, but he showed his speed, made the big plays, and ended up picking up a huge offer from Navy. So that was a great performance for him, and he is reaping the benefits.
Clocked a 22 miles per hour on that play. Y'all go look it up. Reels Analytics. Phenomenal play from Cameron Lloyd. Somebody I highlighted, got to see him this past summer at the camp in Hoover, Alabama in the 7-on-7. Kid is incredible. Tried to give him some exposure then. Finally getting a little bit of notice. Definitely has a bright future. I mean, I know everybody's kind of hung up on just the 5'8", but I mean, man, you look at the NFL, look at Tyreek Hill, look at the smaller guys, the Devontae Smiths of the world, the Tutu Atwells. If you a dynamic playmaker, you can definitely make a difference for a team. So I just wanted to point that out. Cameron Lloyd, as you mentioned, Craig, doing a great job. Has a bright future. Hopefully teams start to realize that and notice that. All right, last but not least, Oconee County quarterback. This is my final standout performer, Mac Ricks. What a phenomenal performance. At quarterback, he rushed for 188 yards, 4 touchdowns, passed for 84 yards, and he had 12 tackles, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. I mean, you talk about getting it done on both sides of the ball. I mean, taking that physical contact all game long with the rushing yards and then dealing out physical contact too on the other side of the ball and forcing turnovers and keeping your team in position to win. Phenomenal performance. Definitely standout performer for me. Mac Ricks of Oconee County. Keep doing your thing, man. Doing